Hello, and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days. We are looking at the week of Monday, June 9th to Sunday, June the 15th. And I will talk about the astrology for the week. We have a few aspects. There's some actually pretty intense stuff by Sunday. And then I'm using the Morgan Greer cards for our 7 cards this week, and we'll end with a Tree Keeper's Oracle card, as I often do. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. And please take everything and filter it through your own intuition. It's a reading for the collective, so it might resonate. Some of the parts might resonate, other parts might not resonate. Just work with your own intuition on that. And please like, share, subscribe too. That would really help. So for this week, we begin with the moon in Sagittarius. Week before it was feminine moon to feminine moon. This time it's masculine to masculine, and we're going from fire to air. So we start with that Sagittarius moon, which is our fire, and the higher mind, higher learning, law, education, travel, especially foreign travel. That's all ruled by Sagittarius. Sagittarius tends to stand up for itself, to speak out, to be somebody who likes to see things in a very philosophical way. Then we move to Capricorn, the earth sign, business oriented often, very practical, organized, likes to have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted sort of energy, can be, again, very grounded because it's an earth energy. Then we end up by next Sunday in Aquarius, and that is air. It is caring about humanity. It's the far out ideas. It's the genius / borderline crazy person, or more energy. And we're obviously you've heard the song, most likely the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and many say that that's where we are. All right. So on Monday, we have Mercury squaring Saturn. Squares are tense. It's an energy of, to me, it always feels like it's sort of grinding and pulling us in different directions. It doesn't want to let us flow or have any ease. And we also have Venus squaring Pluto. So Monday's busy, and then we have Jupiter entering Cancer. Remember, Mercury last week had touched Jupiter right at the end of Gemini, and now Jupiter is making that move into Cancer. And then we also have Mercury squaring Neptune. And that's because Neptune and Saturn's still right at the right at the beginning of Aquarius and Mercury, I'm getting my planets mixed up. Neptune is nearby. So, on that day, Monday, it's good for serious thinking. That would be the Mercury-Saturn square. It's good for discipline. It is not good for legal papers, and that has more to do with the Mercury squaring the Neptune. Mercury is the mind. It can be very quick thinking and communicating, grasp stuff easily. But when you put Neptune in there, it gets watery, it gets fuzzy, it gets dreamy, so not good for, like I said, that legal paper stuff. Or business or negotiations. Communication can feel restricted for those same reasons. It can cause difficulties in our relationships. That would be more the Venus squaring Pluto. It can, again, emotionally, because the Venus and the Pluto squaring, feel like a crisis, can feel tense, there can be resentment, There can be feelings of jealousy and possessiveness. So it's kind of a good day to be quiet, to be alone, just be mindful of those energies. It doesn't have to affect you that way. But if you see things like that going around or someone's trying to engage you, just try to step back maybe. Now with Jupiter in Cancer, it's moving in that day, we're going to have an expansion of home and what home means to us and how we feel about the people at home, how we feel about our homes. So Jupiter will put a big light there, a big energy there. So hopefully that'll feel pretty good. It's pretty happy there. Then we jump to Wednesday, and that would be the 11th of June, and we have Mercury sextiling Venus. That's a good communication flow, so that can feel very relaxing. We want to enjoy life. We might feel graceful. We might feel charming, beautiful. It's a great time for a date, so that's a really nice day, and it's good because that's our over the hump day here in America. And with a tough Monday and then a tough Sunday, that's our next day of aspects. So there we're having Mars squaring, that's a tough one, that tense one, Uranus, Jupiter squaring Saturn. Yeah, those are hard energies, or they can be. So there could be, with Mars square Uranus, Uranus is unexpected. That's the one that rules Aquarius. It can have, we can have very sudden things happen, going in new directions. Mars puts a lot of energy, potentially even violence behind that. So that's where it can, lead to, like I said, unexpected events. It can feel hectic. There could be a certain nervous tension because of that, some stress, some restlessness, some impatience, some rage, some impulsivity. So you also want to be physically careful because of all that, the Uranus throwing off, the Mars energy, the body. Jupiter squaring Saturn can, add to that too. So we want to watch family issues because, again, Jupiter will be in the house of family, home, or in the sign of that, I should say. And we also could have unexpected bills because of it. That would be the Jupiter squaring Saturn. It could affect our self-esteem. Saturn tends to press us down. It's good because it helps us get things done, keeps us disciplined, but also can feel heavy. So you want to try to choose the middle road that day and to persevere. The cards, well, I'm not going to lie, they're a bit intense this week. We have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Hermit, we have the Tower. So we'll start with that Monday, the Wheel of Fortune, again, the Morgan Greer deck. So it's a 10, it's a 1, in other words, it's a new beginning, so things are definitely changing direction, and in a positive way. I really feel like this card has, as long as, we're being decent humans, this will be a change of fortune in the right direction. It's always the idea too of what goes up must come down. So you have the people on top, and then you can kind of see the legs of the person falling off. So it's just reminding us of that constant change, but it is change for the better. Keeps things fresh, keeps us moving. Tuesday, this is one of the challenges, and it's interesting we don't have any aspects that day astrologically, but it could be a bit of the fallout of the Venus squaring Pluto. So, if there were tensions and jealousies, things like that, just watch it. The heartbreak can be based on old feelings of rejection or abandonment. It can be just very mental. It can be feeling left out. So take that 3 energy, it is a 3 of Swords, and go toward the abundance of the Empress. What is working in your life? What is flowing and harmonious? And offset that 3 of Swords by that. 4 of Cups is our Wednesday, and yeah, there's a bit of a holding pattern to that one. There's so often for this card the hand that comes out of a cloud. Here it's a golden cloud, and there's a sort of a green man or woman, it's kind of genderless here, looking out from the side in this sort of wreath. of greenery, and looking at the cup that's being, offered, and not the three that are standing. So there's a way that there can be like a stagnation of you're focusing over here but not seeing what's going on in this other place, and just sort of still not quite sure what to do emotionally. By Thursday, there's a really strong shift inward to the Hermit. It's interesting that this one seems to be on some sort of a summit. You have, very much the dark night around the person. The staff is grounding. It's a masculine figure, but it's more balanced in that, wearing robes. And then staffs represent the feminine as well, in terms of connecting us to the earth, and then holding the light. And the light is really, and here of course there's I don't know if you can see it, but there's a star actually in the lantern, and it's the inward light. It's the turning in. It's the 9 before the 10. So we have the 10 obviously on the first day of the week, but by Thursday we're getting that 9 and the inward focus. And that can facilitate a big change. This is what happens on the next day. But go in, seek your own inner counsel, or someone you respect. On Friday, wow, we don't have aspects that day, but it's almost like we're preparing for the weekend. Things shaking up, things changing. Sometimes this can be very internal. What is it that needs to shift inside the self? What stance can be dropped? What things can be let go of? What position? Things like that. So, the tower's on fire. There's smoke, there's lightning, there are waves, there are people crashing, but they also seem, it doesn't seem desperate. It looks like it's a male and female. Sorry, I'm focusing on the card over here, not you. But it feels like, the old order is just being torn up, burned down, so that something better can take its place. And we can get scared, we can get anxious about thoughts like that, but it really doesn't have to be that external. So, facilitate what needs to change, because it will bring in something better. And let's see, that's a 16, so that makes it a 7. So yeah, that connects to the Chariot. Again, change, and for the better. Let's see, this is our only Earth card. The discs are Pentacles, and this one is a 10. So this is a very solid home. Good income, stability, feeling like you have material success, wealth, things like that. So Saturday, it could be a day of like, all right, taking stock, feeling good about what you have, an energy of prosperity. And it's, you see and it's often true in the 10 of discs, a couple, and it's kind of like tradition, and it doesn't have to be a traditional home, but the tradition of home, and what home means to you, and how that feels satisfying and safe. And then we end with fire. It's our only fire card for the week, and that is the 7 of Wands. And this is taking a stand for a position, something you really believe in, using your instincts. Sometimes it can almost seem like a battle. A principle needs to be upheld. And as I said, we have the 16. Oops, sorry, just bumped my table here. We have the 7 in the 16 of the Tower. And this would be connecting to that and the Chariot as well. So sometimes to get ourselves moving forward, we take stock. What is it that is worth fighting for me? What is it that I should stand up and defend in some way? All right, so with the week, again, 3 majors. So there is the Empress is evoked by that, some abundance, some harmony, and also we have that 3 of Swords, turning that energy in a more positive direction. Some water, so there's some emotional stuff, but that's on the smaller side. And then, you know, some of our security, our financial security, looking at that this week as well. We'll end with a Keeper of Flow. That is our oracle card for today. I'm going to give you a visual. Sorry, I'm getting a little dry here. Keeper of Flow. All day, every day, the heart of your life tree performs one function. It regulates flow. It speaks one language, open, close. When we allow our heart to navigate our life, it's much easier to determine if a place, person, or opportunity is aligned with our highest good or not. First, ask yourself, does this situation align with flow? Does it feel upstream or downstream? And second, does this situation open me up and make me feel more possible and more alive? Or does it make me feel small, cramped, or less than? These are the only 2 directions the heart knows. More of what opens us up, less of what closes us down. With the pull of this card, you're being asked to listen to its simple directives in order to set a course for your own true north. And I just love that advice. The heart will tell us, and sometimes, you know, we can, at least I feel like I have been, and it's a cultural training, use the mind, stop, think it through. But so often we're forgetting our other tools that might work better for us. Our minds are overworked, so use that heart, see if it feels good. Thank you so much again, beloveds, for being here. Really appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. That would help a lot. And I would be happy to answer questions if you have them about what a personal reading entails, if you're curious for one for you or another. And the information is below and at the end of the video. And I will see you again in 7 days, and I'm wishing you, beloveds, the best possible 7 days. See you then.